But as we continue now with this spending and spending and spending, we're weakening ourselves so much that we're not going to be able to support that type of a military. And I think it's great to talk about all these things, but I will tell you this. You better have a strong stomach when you go into a room with these people. They interpret kind talk as weakness. So the old story was you walk softly and carry a big stick. I think with them, you talk strong and you do carry the big stick too. I would, of course, be in favor of anybody that attacks us. I think you have to hit them back twice as hard. I don't think you sit down, I don't think you go to a table and have some kind of a diplomatic exercise with somebody who does not value what you think or your core beliefs or what your religious beliefs are and walk away from that thinking that you made headway with these folks. Doesn't work that way. For us to be strong, we've got to be strong economically. And if we're not strong economically, we cannot continue to fund the machine that we have now that protects us and protects the rest of the world. I do think, at some point, we have to look at where we're getting involved because, quite frankly, we stick our nose in a lot of places. A lot of people look at that and say, I don't know why they're involved in our civil strife. I don't know why they're involved in our civil war. And we always say, well, because we're trying to protect your freedom and your liberty. Quite frankly, in some parts of the world, that's not the way it works. It's the strong man who wins. So, yeah, we need to be strong. We need to be strong economically. Again, it's the spending, stupid. We better keep our eye on the ball, not get confused with what it is we're trying to do. Basically, if you go back to the beginning of the federal government, it was to protect the people that live in our country. We have to make sure we stay strong that way. We have to stay strong not only militarily, but we better have, as I said earlier, an iron stomach when it comes to us, because you cannot have any type of a will or a mindset that does not approach it that way. It's the only way you win against an enemy like this.
We haven't been attack-free. We lost treasure in Fort Bragg to a terrorist who was in our military. And why did that happen? That happened because of political correctness. And that's run amok too. So we need to dial back on that. But we lost brave soldiers there. We almost got blown up on Christmas Eve. Big plane full of people again potentially could have died. So I don't believe we are safe. I don't believe we are safe right now in America because of our weak policies that we're having now. If we got attacked again, I'm sure we'd hear on the news, gee, I don't know why they did that to us. What did we do wrong? It's like all this looking inside and saying, hey, what did we do wrong? No, it's not us, it's them. And we need to know that. And I'm sick and tired of Afghanistan, our troops in Afghanistan, not being able to fire at somebody who's pointing a gun at them. Oh, they have to wait till they're shot at first. How ridiculous is that? That is ridiculous. If we're gonna have our treasure over there, our young men and women over there in Afghanistan, by golly, we gotta win that war. We've got to, yes, and I'm sorry, war is bad, and some civilians are gonna die, but we need to go and get the job done and not pussyfoot around with these stupid regulations that they put on our soldiers. So, yes, I believe we need to be strong, and that's, George Bush, I didn't agree with all his spending, but he had us safe, and he was very good on the war on terror. And we have gone, again, 180 degrees the other direction now, and we need to correct that. So, that's where I stand.
I'm very concerned about our military right now because of how thin we have them stretched. My grandfather was a prisoner of war. My father was a 20-year veteran, served in Vietnam. My brother was a 20-year veteran. And I have respect for all of the people that have served us in any way in the military. And that's why we have the freedoms that we do. The concern that I have is they're not getting the support that they need right now. And we have to be careful of that. When we have people going and serving 3 and 4 tours, the question is, how efficient and how effective are they at that point? How exhausted are they at that point? So we need to make sure that we have a strong military. The previous administration, every day you saw in the newspaper on the front page or on the TV, you saw the death count. It was always there. We haven't seen that. It's almost like we haven't been fighting a war. They've kind of hidden it from us. Do we have to strike if we are attacked like that? Yes, I believe that we do. But I also think that first we have to identify who our allies will be going in. We have to identify exactly what our mission will be. and then we give the orders to our generals and tell them that they can lead the troops. They have the responsibility. As Martha said, forget the political correctness in these battles. We have to identify what the mission is, get it accomplished, bring our troops back home. We're spread far too thin as the number of areas that we're at. I also agree that right now we do have some of these terror cells within the United States. They're planning, they're plotting, and we have to really pay attention to what's going on around us and make sure that we prevent them. I mean, last time we were fortunate, there was somebody who didn't know how to blow up his underwear, so the plane was safe. My son flies on that airlines on a regular basis, so that was a great concern to me when I heard that. He flies out of that airport as well, so we do need to pay attention, and I am fully supportive of our military.
I agree with most of the people on this table that if we are attacked by Islamic fundamentalist extremists who want to do harm to this country, I think that we should hunt them down. One of the movies that I just seen over the last weekend was a movie called Patton. Boy, wasn't that how a war was fought. But one of the things that I think that the United States government can do is continue to be vigilant on this war against terrorism. And that means actually doing some actions outside of this country. We're not going to sit down at the bargaining table like we've tried with North Korean leadership and talk them down off the cliff about nuclear weapons, or with Iran, and especially with this group of people. There's no way to change their mindset, so that we really have to be vigilant, hunt them down, find out ways to cut off their funding, identify the countries or people who are funding these organizations, cut the money off. That greatly handicaps what they're able to do against this country and do in